We've got to prepare our skin before we put on makeup. So I will run through real quickly what my morning preparation was. Art Gentle Cleanser, foaming face wash. This stuff is amazing. It takes just a very little bit. Then I did the satin facial scrub today. And this is wonderful. It gets off the dead skin cells and gives you a fresh, clean slate to work with. It's really good to do every couple of days, every 3 days, 2-3 times a week. It's a good idea. And as always, after cleansing, I always use the Art Refreshing Toner. After I cleanse, I do not use it only after exfoliating with the satin scrub. I do it after every time that I cleanse, because this helps to replenish your natural skin pH. So where the pH of your skin needs to be, that toner is going to get it there, okay? Which makes the absorption of your other products much more efficient. So because I'm mid-50s, I require more TLC. So I love this serum. It's uber luxurious. It takes a teeny tiny bit, and I do it all over my face, my neck, and my décolleté. Just for TLC and extra nourishment for my skin. Super uber awesome skin support. I also use the Art Light Moisturizer during the daytime, and that makes a perfect prep primer, if you will, for mineral makeup. Amazing primer for mineral makeup. Also in the process, let me just grab these two guys. Frankincense and patchouli go on right after my toner, prior to the serum. I do those two as well, just to get some extra oil, skin loving oils on my face. So there is a lot of preparation involved, and if that's not your thing, it's not your thing. But I choose to have the best possible results for me, and at my age, and with my previous history of not so awesome skincare, it's going to require some effort, which I'm happy to put in most days. I don't do it 30 days a month, but most days, and I'm becoming more habitual about it. Years and years of bad habits. So let's get some foundation on. So right now, I am between a warm 1 and a warm 2. I like to use the warm tones because it tones down the redness. The cool tones are more of a pink, which doesn't help with my redness issues. So what I have been doing, when I came back from the cruise, I was recently on a cruise, I was all warm too. I had some tan, I was all warm too, and I was loving that. But since some of that tan has faded a little bit, I'm kind of in between. The warm 1 is too white, it's too pale. The warm 2 looks great, but I choose not to have a line here. So when you're color matching, the correct procedure for color matching is to get 2 or 3 shades and draw a line with a small brush, like a brush like this. Just do a line down onto the neck. Make sure you go past the chin, the jawline, onto the neck, and do 2 or 3. And the one that you can't see, that's your match. Because if you can see the color, then it's not a match. We want something that disappears on our skin and matches our skin tone. Sometimes that's a mixing of more than one color, which is what is so great about this line, the Savvy Minerals makeup line is because you can mix your colors together and get the perfect shade for you. So right now, I'm going to get started with the Warm 2. The Savvy Minerals Misting Spray is the game changer. Now, I was in a previous company that was a makeup company that had very good makeup, but not clean makeup. So switching to this, I had experience in mineral makeup, but switching to the Savvy Minerals, using the misting spray was a whole new ball of wax for me. And so there was a learning curve. If you are used to mineral makeup dry, there's going to be a learning curve. If you are not used to mineral makeup, there's going to be a learning curve. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it because it's amazing. And you're actually putting on makeup that's good for your skin. So in addition to all those products I put on that were nourishing and good for my skin, I'm actually putting makeup on that's nourishing and good for my skin. And this misting spray is nourishing and good for my skin. So anything we can do to help, right? Okay, so this is our amazing foundation brush. I love this brush. And what I do is I'll do a couple of sprays and I test it on the back of my hand to make sure it's not too wet. So this is my palette. The entire time I'm putting on makeup, my hands are clean, they're washed with these foaming hand soap, so I know they're uber clean. And I'm going to be testing things on the back of my hand. So the mist on my brush is perfect, and I use the cap. Always put your minerals in the cap. Don't put your brush into the actual container. Okay, work from your cap. Keeps things a little cleaner, and it gives you like a little palette to work on. And so what I do is grab some of the minerals and I start on my forehead and I dot, dot, dot. I'm going to press it in. Okay. Pressing it in. Pressing it into the skin. And then I can go back and smooth it out. Look at my mirror here. Okay, and so remisting my brush. One little mist there. Grab some more minerals. I need to get some more minerals in there. I use the brush to tap on my jar. And you're just remisting your brush and grabbing minerals. Getting low in this jar. I need a new jar. And I'm stopping here because remember I told you about my fading tan, and this is just a hair darker than I needed in this area. So I'll show you my little hack for that. This is a buildable mineral powder. You can build layers, okay? So you start with one You start with one layer and you build it. And you can already tell the difference in the quality of the appearance of my skin. Okay, so I've got a good layer on. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so that is my layer of my Warm 2. And now, without the misting spray, I am going to add in some Warm 1 right here so that I can transition onto my neck. So you want to bring some of your foundation down onto your neck. And so what I'm doing is I'm blending the Warm 1 and the Warm 2 here in this area. And how far down you go is totally up to you. I go about halfway down. Okay, the other thing that I do with my Warm 1 is I use it as a concealer. So I've got a little blemish here and I've got some circles under my eyes. Now my circles are bags and circles. So I've got some areas that I choose to take care of. So I like these brushes to use in addition to my Young Living brushes. If you're not able to get the Young Living brushes all at once, Eco Tools, you can buy them online. Most cosmetic stores carry them. It's called Eco Tools. They're great brushes. They're very close to, as far as I'm concerned, function-wise, they're very close to the Young Living brushes. The Young Living brushes are uber high quality, and we're getting them for really cheap for the price point for Italian brushes. So I have this brush here. You can see it's very thin when I turn it sideways. And this is what I use for a concealer brush. And so to conceal this right here, I'm just going to pat on some minerals directly on to that spot. And it's just going to go away. Yeah, see? You can see the shadow of it, but you can't see the redness of it anymore. So coverage is that fast. It's that fast. Okay, so let's work on an eye. So because I've got puffiness here, because this is puffy, I want to be sure not to get any of the Warm 1 on this, because then it'll just make it come forward more. I'm choosing for the recessed part here to come forward and camouflage with the rest of my face. So I use the brush sideways versus like this, okay? so that I get a very specific application. And some days it takes me layering a few times. See better in the mirror. I can see better what I'm doing. Where is, I have got some redness there that I would really prefer to have the warm. Let me open up my warm. So I just dab my finger in it. Not quite sure what that's about. Okay, back to concealer. So I'm just putting it in that crease. And it doesn't have, you don't feel like you have to have 100% coverage, okay? You can see the difference in the coverage. And I'll do a still photo because the lighting's kind of not so great. But when I look in the mirror where the lighting is even, I can see how much lighter this one is versus this one, okay? And so you don't have to have 100% coverage. People have bags under their eyes. People have circles under their eyes. It's not the end of the world. It's called life. We just try to look as natural as possible, and you'll be more relatable if you have some circles under your eyes. It's like, oh wow, she's got circles under her eyes too. She's human. She's not a mannequin. She's a real person, right? But it does lighten them up so they're not so scary. I don't want to scare children here. I just choose to make them a little less visible. Okay, see, bam, gone. That's pretty intense, right? So you can see how they're pretty much gone. And I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. So we've concealed a little blemish. And we've mostly covered up some pretty gnarly under eye circles. So the next step for me is going to be contouring and blush.